what do you do with this? Like, I, I don't know how you follow this up. Even if they flub the landing today, which I don't think they will,
Mhm.
but even if you flub it, you have a 9 out of 10, fairly solid. If you want to be really judgy, 8.5 solid episodes, like really good, rewatchable, solid episodes, hours of entertainment. How do you even consider following this up? Like, I have no idea. I mean, I hate top fives. I really, really do. But this is the best Marvel adaptation, and it ain't five.
Yeah.
It is not even close to five. I told y'all, I think this, of all the adaptations that we've gotten, this may be the best thing, live action and animation, that MCU, Disney, Marvel, whoever has ever done. It's very hard to think of anything that's better than it.
Yeah. And the striking thing to me too is this would not be better if it was live action.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And
And this is,
so
yeah, go ahead.
if this is, you know, if if we could recognize that comics can or cartoons can be a medium for telling these great stories from the comics, which is also a viable medium, and then just increase the fidelity of these stories and the
Right.
characters and the animation that we're getting by doing more animated products. Like, what if I think they legitimately try to tie into the MCU,
Mm,
but it's secondary stories with secondary characters, and it's not, none of it's canon, none of it matters.
mm,
But can you start to fill in the blanks between between movies? Can you extend franchises that you don't have the actors for and tell
mm.
stories that stand along the the rest of the movies? And I've said this 1,000 times, like Fantastic Four is another property that would be way better as a cartoon, because
Yeah.
you can do the negative zone, you can do the intergalactic stuff, you
Yeah.
can do all the crazy science. um and so, but it's not going to make you $1 billion at the box office, and
Yeah.
it clearly costs money. So who's going to pay for it, is it
Yeah.
becomes a question. So I think that I don't know if this was somebody's whim or a legitimate effort to try and bridge into X-Men, or we've got this property back but we can't do anything
Mm.
else with it, so let's do this.
Yeah.
But you have to believe, like, if you look at where they were headed, like, we could hear all day long superhero fatigue, and
Hmm.
look at the upcoming movies, nothing's all that exciting. Like, does this say, oh wow, maybe we were thinking about this wrong, there's all these other things we can do? But the
Right.
other thing too is, like, they were fortunate to get the MCU over with mid Carters of the Avengers, and so they just got a world champion from another territory, just showed up on their TV, and so now what do you do with that? So
Uh, I uh, I would like to think, and we've talked about this before about a lot of pop cultural types of things about, hey, we made Heroes. We had no idea how to finish that shit though.
mm-hmm,
Like, it
mm-hmm.
became something popular, but we have no idea what to do with it now. I'm assuming that this was a part of a long-term plan, that they knew something that would come of this. Like, if it freaking 3:45 tomorrow morning or whenever I get done watching this, if there's some like little tie-in to like a live action X-Men thing, I'm not going to work. Hey baby, I ain't coming to work no more. Take it easy. I, I, I'm not going to work. If they somehow tied something like that into whatever, that's it. Like, I'm done, because they figured out the formula that they had figured out for a while that they
Mm,
lost.
mm.
And again, I think I've said this before too. Like, I think COVID was probably the best thing that could happen to the Marvel Studios, because it forced them to reset.
Mm.
And now I think this is a byproduct of that. Like, we're starting to see some of that stuff that
Yeah.
is more interconnected and there's more of a thought and a plot and a plan of putting it together as opposed to just putting out content. And now this is your jumping point. These are your A-level stars here. The Avengers, you again, yeah, you got those mid-carders over, but these are your main eventers, or the team as overall the franchise is your main event. Now, can you keep them at the top of the card without it being stale?
Mm.
And I think there's a danger of that because those other movies were so bad. Like I don't know fully that the stink is off of those movies. I really don't. And so if there's a way to be able to keep them fresh in this way and then transition or make there's a connect. I mean, there's obviously a connection already. We've seen it in what was that movie where they appeared,
In the
Beast and all.
Marvels.
Yeah, yeah, and that. I mean, so we know it's there. We know it's out there, but it's live action. But is there a way? I don't know. But this here, again, I couldn't. I couldn't think, and we've gone over this a bunch of times. Like, man, that freaking Earth's Mightiest Heroes, that's a really good ass cartoon. Watching Batman the animation, yeah, that's a really good ass cartoon. The Justice League Unlimited, that's a really good ass cartoon. And they have multiple years of episodes, or at least more, the Avengers one, maybe not as many. This is, I'm like, it's only 10 episodes. This is really good.
Yeah.
And we are a skeptical bunch. If you ever listen to us before, it takes a while to get us to put shit over. Um, yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
excited, man.
This is
Uh,
amazing. Everyone I encounter, I'm like, you need to stop what you're doing. Like, why are
yeah,
you here? Go,
yeah,
just go watch
exactly.
like 97.
Yeah, I have a couple of dudes at work who I was like, "Oh, you didn't know this was a thing? Oh, yeah, you need to go binge, like hard. Like
Just
I don't understand. No, I
don't
watched
even
the
talk to me
original.
till you're done.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not gonna say anything about it. It's out of respect, but you better figure this shit out quick. Yeah. So I'm ready, man. I'm
I've been
ready.
like running around wanting to scream, but they pulled his adamantium
Yeah,
out.
exactly. Exactly.
I'm like, why haven't anybody watched this shit?
So I'm ready. I'll be ready. Like I said, I usually try to get up, do whatever I got to do. 5 o'clock, sit there. I got about an hour and a half before I have to go to work, and everything that goes on in between. I'm trying to get ready for that. So I'll be ready. I hold my text with y'all until I think y'all can watch it. People wake up late. I'm like, it's fine. I'll jump into the Twitter spoiler hashtag. It's sometime in the morning, but I'm excited. So this honestly, this reminds me of how we felt about House and Power. This really is.
Yeah,
We were
yeah,
like, X-Men are kind of sucky right now, and then it reignited our love
yeah,
for why we loved it.
yeah. Because they've
And
done the same thing. They've opened the world back up. They've
yeah,
opened the world up, and even the difference, I guess, is there's still room to rehash stories in
yeah,
the right way or in a good way with from this platform. Whereas, uh, with House of X, Powers of X, we were like, okay, yeah, this is great. We're at a great point. Where do we go from here? Turns out a
yeah,
long, winding, confusing path with some
yes,
ups and mostly downs,
mostly downs.
and
Yes,
impossible to follow. So yeah, you're
yeah,
right. You're right. Our X-Men hype has not been at this level. I
since
think this is it's higher. It's for me. It's higher than it was then because it
I
was
agree.
yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. All right. So we'll be back with the conclusion of this. I don't know if it's emergency pod situation.
Seven
But
thirty in the
yeah,
morning.
exactly. I'm driving to work, or maybe I'm not driving to work. I'm sitting at home in my drawers eating cereal still. But we will come back with the conclusion. Again, we hope they stick the landing. It's been a problem with the Disney Plus stuff, but I got a little bit of more faith in this one than I have in the past. All right. So as X-Men animated music plays us out on the podcast side, I'm producer. I'm signing off. Excelsior, man. Go ahead and sign off.
See ya.
Peace, everybody. We'll see you later.